Hello, I'm Sue Searing, former church member, now living in Minneapolis, with a story for you from northern India. There was a man who owned a shop, and he had one son, a growing son, but not that old. And the man grew sick and knew he was dying. So he called his son to him and said, "Son, I would like you to make me 3 promises. And if you fulfill these promises, I believe you will have a good life." And the son said, Father, I'll promise you anything." "All right, son, promise me that you will never let the sun shine on you when you go from home to the shop and from the shop to home. And promise me that you will make rice your daily food. And finally, promise me that every week you will have a new wife." "Father, what do these things mean?" "You will understand someday. But will you promise?" Yes, Father, I promise." And before long, the old man died. And so the young man took over the business and did well, and he did his best to fulfill the promises he had made to his dying father. Now, to keep the sun from shining on him when he left the house and went to work and came back home, he built a long covered walkway from his front door to the front door of the shop, which was not that close. This was a big project. It spent a lot of his inheritance to do it, and the people in the town scratched their heads and laughed at him. I mean, it's good that he's a son who keeps his promises, but what a foolish thing to do. Now, making rice his daily food, that actually saved him a little bit of money, but it was very, very monotonous. And the third promise, to have a new wife every week? Well, he wasn't yet married, and he wanted to be. He wanted to be married and have a family, but who would marry him, knowing that the marriage would only last a week and then he'd have to find another wife? And so he resigned himself to a life of bachelorhood. But there was a woman in the town who had her eye on him. I mean, he was young and good-looking, and he was doing well at his business, and she thought she would like to marry him. Her friends and her family said, "What? No. What? Well, after a week he'll send you away." She said, "I don't think he will." So she arranged for the 2 of them to meet. And when he met her, he thought she was good-looking and smart and charming, and it wasn't long before a wedding took place. And everyone in town came in their finest clothes. They danced and sang. There was music and all kinds of food. And everyone rejoiced at the happiness of the bride and the groom. But behind their backs, people said, "This is silly. This is ridiculous. In a week, it's all going to be over." But what a happy week it was. By the 7th day, though, the man grew sad, and sadder, and sadder, until by evening he said, "My darling wife, this is so awful, but I need to send you away. I promised my father." And she said, "Oh, no. You did not understand what your father meant. Now, listen, when he made you promise not to walk in the sunshine from home to work and work from home, what he really meant was get up early and stay at work late. That is the way to work hard and long, the path to success. And when he said make rice your daily food, he didn't mean make it your only food. He just meant be frugal and modest in your habits, and that will lead to a good and contented life. And when he said, have a new wife every week, he didn't mean a different wife. No, he meant look at your wife as though you were meeting her for the first time. See what is new in her, and she should do the same for you. And you will fall in love over and over again, just like newlyweds. And that is how it was. And they lived together happily and prosperously for the rest of their long lives, falling in love over and over again, at least once a week.